As I'm sure you know, we keep getting updates and new developments in our fight against the spread of the COVID-19 virus. As mayor, I've promised to give you updates on a daily basis or as new information becomes available. And in doing so, we continue to practice right here in City Hall and with the folks that we come in contact with all of the proper practices of social distancing and trying to stay in accordance with what the prescriptions from our health commissioner, Dr. Roland Walker, has advised us to do so. Today, I'm joined by a few individuals from around the city to do just that, share information with you and to provide accurate, up-to-date information as to how to keep you and your family safe. Today, we have with us Dr. Roland Walker. We have our Calumet Township trustee, Ms. Kimberly K. Robinson, who will share information about services in the community. We also are joined by our police chief, Mr. Richard Legan, as well as our fire chief, Chief Sean O'Donnell. Corporation Counsel's here and a few other members from the Gary Fire Department. If you'll notice, none of them are on screen because, again, it's imperative that we all, starting here at City Hall, practice the measures of social safe distancing. This morning, March 23rd, 2020, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb issued a stay-at-home order for all of Indiana. The governor was very clear that we should all limit our travel, whether this is around town or across the state lines, to whatever is necessary. This order begins effective Tuesday, 11:59 p.m., March the 24th. I recently put into place a protocol here at City Hall and all city-owned facilities which required people to adhere to certain directives relative to public traffic. We identified people who would be essential and expected to come into work, as well as identified people who could work from home. Also, I ordered that all events at city-owned facilities, including the Genesis Center and all park pavilions, cancel until further notice. We called everyone in to avoid personal gatherings of any kind that involved 10 or more people. This is serious, and I've made recommendations last week based on the guidelines. Yet, over this weekend, I saw events going on around the city where there were clearly more than 10 people gathered in one place. There were funerals, church services, and other things going on throughout Gary. I understand that these recommendations are new to us all, and I understand this calls for changes and sacrifices that you may not understand or deem necessary. But every time we defy and reject what the public health experts tell us is unacceptable behavior. Every time we do it, we increase the risk of spreading the COVID-19 virus. We can beat back this public health threat if we remain calm. We also have to remain patient and work together. If we don't, I believe that soon we will have a larger health crisis than we've come to know at this particular point. Effective again at midnight tomorrow, which is the start of Wednesday morning, all of Indiana will be under a stay-at-home order from the governor of the state of Indiana. As it relates to City Hall employees, if you are an essential employee, it simply means that you will be conducting your business from home. If you are an essential business or a government agency, you absolutely need to go to the grocery store to get whatever necessary supplies you need, or if you have to travel to take care of a loved one who has a health and safety needs, that will be acceptable also. Otherwise, stay at home. This will not be time to go to church services. This will not be a time to visit friends. This will not be a time to spend considerable time anywhere other than home. And unfortunately, this will not be a time to attend funerals or other functions that we all find tremendously personal and important. Lastly, we just want to say that it's important that everyone who hears this message share the same information with all of your loved ones or any folks that you come into contact with on a daily basis. These notices aren't meant to be a source of alarm. However, they are meant to share accurate information and to encourage people to follow the edicts of not only our state government, but our national as well. The next logical question may be, what happens for people who don't want to heed the order? This stay-at-home order is mandatory, and the state police will be enforcing with the Gary police officers to make sure this order is adhered to. Please do not try your luck or think about anything other than absolute seriousness of this particular issue. At this time, I want to invite our Health Commissioner, Dr. Roland Walker, who will share some specific medical suggestions to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. To the citizens of Gary, I imagine this is a very uncertain time, and uncertainty gives you a little bit of fear. But let me just say that when you listen to the people that speak to you today, when I look around this room, my fear just kind of just goes away, because the proper steps are being taken now, and so we're all going to get through this together. The most important thing that I'm going to reinforce is about social distancing, which is how we're going to break this cycle of this virus infecting other people, and that's how you're going to protect your loved ones. So social distancing is the most important thing we can do. The directives that the governor has given us and the directives that our mayor has given us will be the tools that we use in order to practice this social distancing, and I'll give you a couple of other tips. Obviously, we want to disinfect our homes. We want to disinfect surfaces, doorknobs, door handles, and we want to do that constantly and consistently. You want to use substances that contain bleach, and that way we'll be able to disinfect, okay? If you are symptomatic, you definitely want to be wearing a mask. If you are a caregiver, if you are a first responder, you want to be wearing a mask. And first responders also will be wearing gloves, and sometimes you'll see people with gowns on, and that might look scary to you, but that's just necessary so that we're not spreading this virus to other people. Once again, I want to say thank you to our mayor, to our governor, to our chiefs of police, the chief of fire, the other responders in the room today. They have been absolutely wonderful working with them to make sure for the safety of the people of Gary. And going forward, we'll continue to give you information. And remember, I understand that some of this can be a little bit scary, but ultimately what we're going to do is move forward in a manner in which it helps us to defeat this virus. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, all the members of the cabinet. I just simply came to say on behalf of your Calumet Township Trustee's Office, we are still doing our duty as providing basic life-sustaining services to all those in our area of service. So our office will remain open. Our main location is 610 Connecticut Street from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our Calumet Township Multi-Purpose Center, 1900 West 41st Avenue, will remain open until further notice from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We are currently we are currently speaking with most of our customers via telephone and computers as best we can, but because our system is not exactly set up for me to sit from home and take care of any of our customers, we cannot do that. So if there is an emergency beyond these hours of operation, please call 219-718-2301, 219-718-2301. That is my number that comes directly to me, that is on 24 hours. If there is anything we can do for any of the services that we provide through the Calumet Township Trustee's Office. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Ligon. I'm the Chief of Police for the city of Gary, Indiana. I want to thank the mayor, the health commissioner, and everyone here for showing their love and concern. I just want to stress to you that this is a government order. It's called Stay Home, and that's what we're going to enforce. You will find out that the Indiana State Police and the Gary Police will be strictly enforcing this. So we're begging you to stay home. We have to keep you safe. So if there's any doubt in your mind, please just stay home. That's the easiest way to keep you out of trouble. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Sean O'Donnell, the Gary Fire Department. In this time, we just want to make sure we assure all the residents that the fire and emergency services or ambulance will still be out there responding to all calls for service. We also are taking our precautions for our first responders because we are on the front lines of this pandemic. But we are going to be answering all calls for service, so the fire and police department are both out there to respond for any of your emergency needs. Thank you.
So once again, we just want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. Dr. Walker is going to come back up and speak about a concern that seems to be pervasive in the community relative to testing. Also, I want to mention that the Common Council, under the direction of President Michael Brown as well as Vice President William Godwin, will be receiving daily updates. And so if there's additional information that's required or you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out to one of them as well if you have their contact information. Also, we will make sure that our senior high-rises as well as all senior citizens are equipped with this information, and that includes nursing homes and facilities of the like. We will be issuing a press release, but most importantly, we ask that you not only practice social distancing, but you also share this very important information with anyone that you come in contact with. And as the chief said, the order is not an optional order. It was done by way of executive order from the governor. There are allowances to go to and from what is deemed essential appointments, i.e. doctor's office, grocery store, and there are a few other occasions. But most of all, it's important that we adhere to the order to not gather in social or public settings in instances where there are more than 10 people. Thank you.
So one of the questions that has frequently come up is, how do I get tested? And so currently in Gary, Indiana, testing is going forward at a drive-up manner at the emergency room at North Lake campus of Methodist Hospital. Now, to the general public, you don't just show up and request a test. Like any other test, this requires a doctor's order. So currently, Methodist Hospital is testing approximately 20 patients a day. They're doing it with a doctor's order, and they have a drive-up near the emergency room. And so if there's additional testing that's going to be added, we will inform you. The city of Gary, we're also working to set up a testing site. And if we are able to establish that, we will inform you. But once again, I just want to make sure that I reiterate that if you think you're symptomatic, you should contact your primary care provider so that they can determine whether you should be tested or not. And I should also tell you that not everybody with COVID will be tested. Okay, some people will be given the instructions to self-quarantine, so it's according to circumstance. So talk to your primary care provider so they can determine if you should be tested, where to be tested, and at what time. Because when you're tested, people call ahead so that they can prepare for you and so that everybody can have on the proper gear to come and test you. So once again, testing currently is at North Lake Campus Methodist Hospital, and that should be through a doctor's order. So make sure you contact your primary care provider. Thank you.
So there's one more point of order. We've gotten a lot of questions today about the school's feeding program. I was on the phone earlier with Dr. Paige McNulty, the emergency manager for Gary Community School Corporation, and it's my understanding that the feeding program will continue. In fact, today there was a delivery of lunches at the facility sites for the entire week, and it's my understanding, unless some other directive is issued and there is a need to change the process, that next Monday will be a distribution of lunches and breakfast and snacks as well. Thank you.